Happy Friday. We're just going to play today. We're going to take a few Tai Chi forms, mainly inspired out of the Tai Chi Fit program from David Dorian Ross, and kind of blend those together and sort of free flow those into some Qigong style movements. So let's begin today just warming up. I'm currently speaking to an empty Zoom room, but we'll see if that changes. And it's Friday, late for late in the day on Friday for some of my regulars. Body nice and relaxed, knees soft. Give your shoulders a shrug and then just let them drop. Relax the shoulders, the upper back, the neck. And then let's begin to turn from side to side. Just letting the arms swing freely. Kind of a mix of things familiar to Qigong doers, and some of them more familiar to folks who've done Tai Chi. In particular, some of these forms come out of the Yang style 10 form. They also show up in the 24 form. And some of them are a little bit more obscure. And you see them more in Qigong sets than Tai Chi these days. We will take a little bit different approach to the silk reeling as we warm up today. A variation on serving teacups, which is really good for wrist and elbow mobility and flexibility. If you spend a lot of time at a computer and have carpal tunnel issues, the teacups movements are really, really good for that. Let's take the hands into loose fists now. Begin knocking on the lower belly and lower back. Kind of our normal warm up. Knocking on the door of life. Tapping in and around our energy center, our lower dantian. Looks like the weather is finally beginning to steady and warm up here, so we might be able to move a few of these sessions outdoors. Just gotta make sure I can figure out the necessary technical requirements to be able to Zoom them at the same time. Let's begin to deepen out the breath. Nice deep inhales down deep into the belly. Inhaling through the nose if you're able. And then let that exhale come out through your mouth today. You want to really relax today. These are relatively simple forms. We'll do enough repetitions that if they seem a little sticky at first, get the hang of them. Most of the breathing today is patterned. And if you have to pick between getting the choreography and hands and feet exactly right and getting the breath right, focus on the breath. All right, let's let the hands float back off. And let's come to rest in our neutral position, our Wuji position, feet about shoulder width apart. Put a little space under the elbows, and let's do a little spinal cord breathing to connect to that breath. Breathing in, spread the elbows apart, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then as you exhale, pull it all back in, gently fold. Nice big breath in as we rise and expand. And then as we relax and release, nice full exhale. Let's put a little twist at the top of these. Come on back to the center as you exhale. Little turn of the upper spine at the top. It'll loosen us up, get us ready to serve those teacups. Yeah, let's take one more. And then rise and release back down the Wuji. So let one hand come up, sweeping out across the front, keeping the palm facing the ceiling. A spiral out on the side, try and keep the palm up. Another spiral down here in front. Another spiral. Just swirling that hand through the air. Working it up and down and back and forth. Trying to keep the palm up like we're holding a teacup. And if your body needs to move around a little bit to accommodate that, that's fine. We're just warming up. And the goal is just to keep that palm in the air. Don't let your teacup fall on the floor. Let's take a few more on this side. If yours don't look like mine, that's okay. Just keep that hand spiraling, that motion going back and forth and up and down. And let's bring out the other hand. Sweeping across, spiraling. Trying to keep that palm facing up. I'll give you a little heads up for a week from today. Next Friday, you'll need a little accessory or two for the session. We're going to do a session with the Tai Chi balls. So you need something about as big as a grapefruit. A softball works well. A bocce ball works well. A croquet ball works well, but might be a little bit on the heavy side. We'll do a seated session on Monday and then a session with the Tai Chi balls on Friday next week. And just a couple more times. With our teacup on this hand. And let's come back to center. And just let that float on down. And let's begin with the standard commencing form as we open the flow. Breathing in, let the arms rise in front. At the top, elbows get heavy and lead everything down. And let your whole body sink down. Just relax into the breath. Breath in, arms floating up like wind underneath your wings. This time, as the hands come up, let the palms turn in toward one another. Round out the arms, and then let the arms float out. Inhaling as we expand. Exhale, come back in and hug the tree. Inhale, broaden the chest. Breathing out, come back in, hug the tree. All right, stay with me now. We're going to do a little variation as we come back in. This time as the hands come in, let the arms spiral and capture a large ball. Or perhaps capture the moon. So rather than hugging the tree, think of this one now as embracing the moon. Still breathing in as we expand, breathing out as we relax back in, embracing the moon. And like the moon goes through its phases and we see less and less of it as it wanes, let's shrink that moon each time we come in. Getting a little smaller each time we recapture it. We come back to our familiar capturing a ball. Smaller and smaller each time we come in. A couple more till your palms are just a couple inches away from each other. And then this time, take your bottom hand only. Let that one fall back. Loop around past your ear, turn the other palm over, let palm pass palm, and press forward. Other side, breathing in, toss a hand away, turn the other palm over, let palm pass palm as we fend off the monkey. It is probably unlikely that you actually have a monkey that you have to fend off, but at least in my busy life, monkey mind runs rampant. Take a few minutes each day to push those things away. Those coming from the Tai Chi world recognize this move as perhaps repulsing the monkey, and is one done usually stepping backwards. In the 24 form, we use it to get us back to our starting position. After we've traveled across the room, parting the horse's mane, and brushing the knee, and spreading our wings like the wild crane. We need a way to get back to a start. And this movement is used for that. But for our purposes, we're using it to connect to the breath. One more time. And then pull both hands back, making loose fists to the bottom of the ribs. Toe heel out to a wider position. Point your toes forward if you can into horse stance. So our knees are tracking over our toes. Our knees are flaring out like we're holding a ball. Take an inhale here. And then on the exhale, spiral the hand, punch one fist forward. Inhale, turn the hand over, draw it back. Exhale, punch the other one forward. One of the significant differences between Tai Chi and Qigong is nearly every Tai Chi move, you can map it to some martial application, Tai Chi being a martial art, albeit a much gentler one than some of the others. But the principles remain the same. And if you want on these punches, you can give a real audible exhale. Strong breath in. Strong breath out. Let's do one more on each side. Release the hands and then let the arms float up on the side. Let's fold one hand in like we're going to pull the string of a bow. Form an aiming point with the other hand. Take a breath in. On the breath out, look past your aiming point and draw the bow. Inhale, sweep your bow hand across. Let the hands change places. Exhale, draw the bow. Inhaling as we transition across to the other side. Exhaling on the draw. Shooting the bow while riding a horse. As we remain in our horse stance. If you are more flexible than me, feel free to take that stance even wider, dropping down even lower. One last time. And a release from this. Let your string hand float out. Both hands float down as you toe heel back in, coming back to our neutral Wuji position. On to the second half. Hands float up in front, palms facing each other. Spin that like you're holding a ball. And cueing off the bottom hand, we're going to step out with that leg and toss that hand away. Just let the back hand reel around, reload it, and continue to toss away the bottom hand. And think of it like throwing a frisbee. In a Tai Chi set, we would normally be stepping forward with this one. This is parting the horse's mane or parting the wild horse's mane. You get a bit of a visual with this one. Think of your bottom hand tracking up the bottom of the horse's neck, while that top hand pats down the mane. Inhaling as we reload it. Exhaling, gentle lunge forward as we toss away that bottom hand. And we need to get you to the other side. So on this next one, toss away, pause. Now fold that hand in, turn the palm over, recapture the ball, and step in. Now your other hand is on the bottom, stepping out to the other corner. Toss the bottom hand away. Now, let's work for a little hand-eye, left-right brain coordination here. So we're going to transition back to the other side. So pause, fold in, turn the other palm over so you recapture the ball as you step in, other side. step out, toss away. 2 times. 1 and 2. Fold it in, step it in, step out to the other side. 1 and 2. Fold it in, step it in, other side. 1 and 2. Bring it back in one more time. Other side to balance it out. 1 and 2. And then fold it in, recapture your ball, and let's carry that ball to the side. Turn your hands on edge, drag them across in front of you. Back of the top hand and palm of the bottom hand, they change places on each side, are floating into the wind. So top hand, back of the hand is into the wind, bottom hand, palm is into the breeze. And they change on each side. And let's reconnect to the breath. Breathing in as we come across in one direction. Natural pause in the breath as our hands change places. And then breathing out as we bring it back. This is hands play with clouds. This is a very relaxing movement. You could just do this for 20 minutes. Great stress reliever. Keep that top hand about level with the heart. Bottom hand roughly level with the lower belly, the lower dantian. And just feel your hands tracking through the air. You may feel a little bit of buzzing or tingling, almost like you're dragging your hands through the mist. Or something a little thicker than just the air, through the fog maybe. All right, we're gonna change up this one just a little bit. So stay with me now. As we come across, let the top hand stop and form a hook. Let the bottom hand continue and then press. Release the hook. Hands catch up and change places, and we go back to the cloud hands for 2 times. Other side now. Top hand forms a hook. Bottom hand sweeps across, presses, release the hook. Hands catch up and change. We come 2 times across to set up the alternating sides. Sweep and press, release, change 2 times. Hook, whip, press. This is called a single whip. You can continue your breathing pattern here. So a breath in or out as you sweep across, as the other arm comes across, changing the breath. So the breath stays intact even as we change what our hands are actually doing. A couple more whips here. Yeah, let's get one more on the other side, and then we'll button up the practice today. Hands catch up. Let's take 2 times across, and then turn the palms back toward one another, recapturing the ball, and pull that back to the center. Spin it, flatten the palms, and let them float on down. And we go into our close. Turn the palms out, rise overhead. Come on up on your tiptoes if you can. Turn the palms over, press the palms as you lower the heels. Again, rising, breathing in, up the tiptoes if you can, and then a long, slow exhale as you let the hands float down. As we regulate the chi. Let's take one more like that. And then at the bottom, let's turn the hands over. Lift, changing direction. Let them spiral at the top and come down on the sides. You want to keep the heel lift in there. You can do that as you rise. Let's take one more in this direction. Let the fingertips come together. Pull those up to the ribs. Lean forward just a little bit as you press your hands forward like you're turning a wheel. Breathing in as you rise, breathing out as you press forward and turn the wheel. Now, let's take one last turn of that wheel. And as we rise, the hands separate. Toss one away as you breathe in. Let your eyes follow it. And then as you breathe out, let it track right down the midline of the body. Let's do that on the other side. And as that hand floats down, let it come to rest on the heart center. Place the other hand over your lower belly. Put your thumb in your belly button. And then just step your feet a little closer together. Close your eyes. And we'll take a few breaths here as we begin to settle our energy. And then keeping your eyes closed, go ahead and let that top hand float down. And it can either cover or hide under the other hand. So both hands over the lower dantian. And we finish settling our energy back into our core, into our lower dantian, as we breathe our way to the finish. And as we close our practice, you're welcome to continue standing in meditation if you'd like. And when you feel ready, take a last big breath in. And then as you exhale, go ahead and open the eyes, release the hands, give everything a little shake out at the bottom. So we just had a little fun today, just relaxing into some Tai Chi forms, mapping into Qigong breathing and Qigong flow. Have a wonderful remainder of your Friday and a wonderful weekend. We'll see you Monday for our seated session. Until then, namaste.